Hello, welcome to Living Environment Review. This is a video for you if you missed class and did not get the lesson on levels of organization. So last week we talked about abiotic and biotic factors. Remember, abiotic are non-living, biotic are living. Today we're talking about the levels of organization that exist in biotic factors and living things. So if you look at this list, these are the levels of organization. Go ahead and take a picture of this. It'll be handy for you to use when you do the task. We start off at the top with the smallest possible thing that is contained inside of a living being. With each different level, it gets progressively bigger and more complex until we end up with an ecosystem. So today we're just going to go over these levels. The first is an atom. These are the basic building blocks of all matter, the tiniest piece of the universe. Atoms group together and are held together by covalent bonds. Those are molecules. So when atoms get together, they form molecules. Then when molecules get together, they form cells. Cells are the basic unit of all organisms. All living things are composed of cells, anything that's alive. You can see on the screen we have an example of an animal cell and a plant cell. Then cells can come together to make tissue. So you'll see on the slide there are examples of different tissues found in the human body. These are groups of cells that work together to perform a specific function. So bone tissue, that's the type of tissue that works together to make bones. Cartilage, that's what your nose is made of. You have cardiac muscle, those are the tissues that make up your heart. All these different types of tissue. Then tissues come together to make organs. Organs are groups of tissues organized to perform complex activities within an organism. You see an example of this on the slide, a stomach. That's just a group of tissues that are organized to perform digestion. That's what your stomach does. It takes your food and it begins the digestion process. Other organs include heart, liver, kidney, lungs, so many different ones. Organs come together to make organ systems. These are multiple organs that work together to perform a specific function. So I was just talking about your digestive system. Your stomach is a very important part of that, but you also have your esophagus, you have your small and large intestines, you have your bladder, you have your colon. Those are all things that come together to help you digest food. So you can look at the screen here, take a screenshot if you want to have all these examples of systems. Organ systems all come together to make up an organism. This is anything that possesses all the characteristics of life. This dog is an organism, I'm an organism, you are an organism. So groups of organisms of one species that interbreed and live in the same place at the same time, that is a population. So for example, all of these fish, they're the same type of fish, the same species, they interbreed, they have babies together, they're a population of fish. Then you have a community. That's several interacting populations that inhabit one environment. So here you see a bunch of different populations, a squirrel, a wolf, a cougar, some deer. Those are all different populations, but they live in the same common environment. So that makes up a community. Then, of course, we have the biggest component, an ecosystem. So interactions among populations in a community, those are the biotic factors, and the community's physical surroundings, abiotic factors, all come together to make an ecosystem. So that was the overview of all of those different levels. In class, we did a quiz. This time, we're not going to go over that, but you will have to answer some questions on your task. I just wanted to show you really quickly. Take a screenshot of this. These are different definitions of abiotic, biotic, species, population, community, and ecosystem. Review these definitions because they'll be helpful for the task as well. Okay, so that was the presentation that you missed when you were in class. Please come to class. That's the best way to get the information. And please go ahead and start Unit 2, Task 2 on Google Classroom.